acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and all lang syne? For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne. For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne. For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy New Year's from the Channel 9 studio. This is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And as we do every Friday, we're going to go into SmackDown. Heads up, SmackDown was the extra hour this week. So it was 3 hours instead of the normal two that we have been accustomed to. But we'll get right into that right now. So as SmackDown came on, The Miz came out there and he wanted to talk about, he's still upset that he wasn't a part of the John Cena thing, and he crying and moaning and boo-hooing. Then he talking about he's the face of the locker room because he got 2 championships, 12 tag team. He just start giving out his accolades, and so I guess somebody in the locker room didn't want to hear it because the music played, but it was somebody who had voices in their head. So Randy Orton comes down. He's acknowledging the fans. He fakes an RKO on the Miz. The Miz jumps like he crazy. Then he actually hits an RKO on the Miz. And then, the fans was telling him one more time, Dakota, how you feeling? Welcome in, Happy New Year's. So as the crowd is telling him one more time, he picks up the Miz, says Miz Happy New Year's, and hits him with the RKO. So that's how that segment ends. Miz is looking all crazy because he's RKO'd out. Uh, so we're gonna go straight to the first match. The first match was the Kabuki Warriors with Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Rhea Io, Miss Bliss, Charlotte Flair. Soon as Miss Bliss and Charlotte gets in the ring, they take off their gear. They get jumped by the four opponents. Uh, they get wiped out. Uh, we come back as they get themselves together. They go to commercial. We come back, and you see the women are still in control. Uh, Miss Bliss, she gets a little bit of momentum, and then she hits Charlotte. Uh, as Charlotte comes in, she chops everybody out. She chops out Lash. She chops out Nia Jax. She goes and kicks the tag champs out the ring. Uh, then we see everybody come back in. We see a Sister Abigail. We see Charlotte hits a figure eight. Uh, uh, Kyrie hits her with the elbow. Then they find a way to get the EO. EO comes in, gets a quick flash. Then she gets in trouble, and then she hits Rhea. She tags in Rhea. Rhea comes in and she cleans up house. She gets Well, nine of them is already out, but they get EO out the way. I mean, excuse me, they get Kyrie out the way. Uh, they work on Oscar. Then EO tries to go up the top rope. She lands in Rhea's arms, and Rhea eradicates her. And then EO does the moonsault, gets the 3 count, and they gain the victory. So it's a victory for Miss Bliss, uh, Charlotte, Rhea, and EO. Now we know Monday EO and Rhea is going to be fighting for the tag team belts. So that was the monument or the pinpoint of the match because EO pinned Kyrie. So good win for the four of them. Uh, but that was just the beginning of the night. Uh, so the next match is Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson is Mister Masculinity and calling everybody toxic masculinity. And then we didn't know who his opponent was in the beginning. Then we hear woo woo woo. So now we thinking it's Zack Ryder, but it's Matt. But it is. But he's Damien. What's going on with you? It's Matt Cardona. That's his name now. This is not the old Zack Ryder. This is Matt Cardona. He's been signed officially to SmackDown as Matt Cardona. So this is his first match as Matt Cardona. Uh, Damien, what's going on with you? I think that's who it is. Damien V. Happy New Year. Uh, so Zack Ryder comes out. They start the match. Kit gets a little advantage. Uh, Matt Cardona was able to, figure things out, get his footing back in the ring, take control. Uh, he hits Kit with the Rough Rider. Gets the 3 count. So Matt Cardona defeats Kit Wilson on his first match as being Matt Cardona. But welcome back to him. I don't even know if I should say welcome back or welcome Matt Cardona because it's the same person. So in the background we see Jordan Grace is after that match they have a segment. Jordan Grace is talking to I almost said Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis. Chelsea Green is crying about a match. She steps out like she didn't want to fight the Julia match. But they left that alone. And that's how that segment ends. Then we got Sami Zayn coming out to the ring, talking about how he got to see John Cena the last match. He proclaims he's going after the gold, like Randy did earlier to Cody's face. And as he's saying all that, we hear whoop that trick. So we've come to find out that Trick Williams is on his way to the ring. He introduced himself to Sammy. He's like, yo, I'm Michael Jordan, I'm Tyson, I'm all of these people. I'm that dude pretty much. He's like, okay, I know who you are, but you just got here. So, you ain't talking about nothing. But Trick is just, like I'm looking to fight. Sammy like, I'm here to fight. So, he just putting people on notice and Sammy putting people on notice. And, pretty standard, like, guy, well, you here, I'm here. We can do this at another time. Uh, but welcome in Trick Williams, right? This is his official appearance. I think we'll see his first match next week as he faces Ray Phoenix. Is it Ray Phoenix? Yeah, I think it is Ray Phoenix. Uh, Going into the match. Then Carmelo Hayes he defends the championship versus Johnny Gargano. Uh, Johnny Gargano, he trying to stick up for his guy on DIY. He comes out with his wife. Ciampa wasn't there, so I don't know how you gonna fight for the guy. But anyway, they go at it. Melo takes the event. He starts the match off fresh. The ref, well, he didn't start the match. He started fighting. Melo got the advantage. The ref says, "Yo, let's start the match." Uh, Johnny comes back, takes a drop kick, and then all of a sudden, they're going back and forth. Uh, then we see as Gargano gets his advantage, uh, Carmelo getting close to losing the title, couple 2 counts there, but then Carmelo finds the will, gets up, uh, takes the advantage, hits the he can't miss elbow, the he can't miss from the top rope, uh, gets the 3 count, and defends his title. So good win for Carmelo Hayes to defend his title against Gargano. Uh, we see him and Dragunov later on, like that's how you do it, champ, or whatever. Like they building up a respect for one another. Uh, but there was a lot of hit and misses in this match. Gargano was spearing that slingshot spear. I thought, I thought Carmelo was hurt, but he showed his resilience, and then he came back and won that match. So it was a big win for him. The next segment was the what stages of hell we get. So Cody comes out talking about what y'all want to talk about. Drew comes up and interrupts him pretty much like, I'm gonna tell you what these three match the situation is. Uh, tells them is one is a regular match, falls count anywhere, and I think it was still I can't remember, was it a steel cage match? It was something very uninteresting. Then he just started getting personal, talking about Cody's dad and disappointing and how he went in there and broke stuff up in his bus and all of this other stuff. Cody gets irate. Uh, you know, but the excitement was what was the match going to be about. We thought we was going to see some, you know, like street fights, 60-minute match or something like that, to where they can finally get rid of these two fighting. But obviously they didn't. And like I said, Cody was just really pissed off. He wanted to get his hands on him, but of course, if he touches him, he loses the belt. So nothing really happens. Uh, so we go backstage. We see that Jade Cargill is being interviewed. She's supposed to have a match with Michin, but because Michin was hurt in a match prior to tonight, they ruled her out, and Jade took credit for it. Then she ran into Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace told her, "Listen." Well, she's like, "Well, Jordan Grace said, I'm figuring out I'm looking at what I need to sign up for over here." I'm paraphrasing, of course, and Jay's like, "Well, don't sign up over here because this is my show and I'm that bitch." She said, "Realist, what's going on?" So Jordan Grace said, "Well, you can. I'm Jordan Grace. You are that." And she didn't say it, but she's like, "You are that. Like you are that bitch, and like you are a bitch. Not you are that bitch, but you are a bitch." Uh, and they left it at that. Then they doing a lot of things with these people, right? So now we got the Chelsea Green versus Julia match. Now we know Julia has been on fire, and this is for the belt. Uh, so Albert Fry tries to get in the match and get in the match and distract, but that wasn't even enough because even with Chelsea Green hitting the suicide dive, Julia was determined. She goes in, uh, she hits her with her finishing move. Uh, Julia gets the count. She hits her with the Northern Lights, gets the 3 count. Julia now is the champion once again. So Chelsea Green does not have the title. So we gonna figure out what she gonna do. She'll probably be over there in AAA trying to get herself established and things like that. So it was a little short run for Chelsea Green, especially how she got the belt. But Julia does now own the belt, so it's this is a change of the belt. Then finally we got this Damian Priest versus Aleister Black match. It's an ambulance match. You got to put the guy in the ambulance, close the door. You got to get up out of there. Uh, these two been fighting for the longest. Uh, Damian Priest comes down looking, like he's ready to go at it, and they start the fighting. He brings a stretcher down like he ready to put the dude on there now. They ain't even fight yet, but so the match goes back and forth. Zelina gets Zelina cheering her husband on. Uh, yeah, they go back and forth. They put him in. They put him on. Alistair puts Damien on the thing on the stretcher thing, and but he's wheeling him up there. Then he gets up. He starts to fight as he approaches the ambulance. Damian Priest goes inside, but before he gets out, he hits him with a fireball, blinds him. Uh, throws Damian Priest. I mean, excuse me, throws Alistair Black in there, closes the door, gets the win. So hopefully, that's the end of that situation because they've been going at this for a while now, and it has not been exciting. But that was the final match. Damian Priest does get the victory. Uh, you know, it's you know, but the show was okay until Saint. What's going on now? What up now? The show was good until they got to the part of making the announcement of what the three matches of hell segment was going to be, and after that it just got really like it just dragged. After that, I guess they was trying to put on the three. They trying to get the whole 3 hours out of a situation, but the excitement of Trick Williams coming up, the excitement of Carmelo Hayes putting on that good performance with Johnny Gargano, which I believe was the best match of the night. Um, it was good to see Randy Orton. Like I said, he made his announcement. I'm coming after the belt. Like I said, he told Cody to his face, "When you beat Drew, I'm coming after this belt." So I guess they starting to bring people up. Like we also saw Obafemi like video, like he was coming to SmackDown. So I can pretty much bet that those three guys will be in the Royal Rumble, even though they haven't officially started the Royal Rumble list yet. But I can see them entering because they the youngest guys, which also allows me to believe that maybe Javon Evans is going to Raw, which will be not a bad thing. But they starting to get these guys from NXT called up. We saw Jordan Grace. We saw Saul Ruka at the main event. She's not going to be that far behind coming up. We see Julia regain her championship, her belt back. My 33 brother, what up though? So, you know, now that the NXT, the next generation is coming in, but it's right on time if you really look at it because they have to build the rosters for the Royal Rumble, but not the roster. They have to build people for the Royal Rumble. Uh, we know Joe Hendry is getting ready to start his thing with the Miz back and forth. He just didn't want to say his name tonight, so it's they ain't want him to show up. But Randy, like I said, Randy Orton's back. He already stated what he wants. He'll probably be in the Rumble at the end of the month. I just really can't believe we at Royal Rumble time, right? 2026, we starting the new year off. Um, it's just so much. Time is moving too fast for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I remember when Cody was just getting his feet wet and they was trying to figure out number one contenders and all of this other stuff before this before this transition to Raw, from Raw for Raw to Netflix. And all in all, when you really look at it, it's like, you know, I don't know. I guess they think their viewership is going up over there on Raw. Me personally, I just they got the names over there, so it has to be what it is. You need those names to keep Netflix streaming. USA Network is that's regular cable, I guess. So they like, all right, whatever. We can put whoever over here and keep it going. But you know, the fact that, like I said, they bring it up to the younger ones. Even Lash Legend, she had a great performance tonight. She kicked the hell out of Io tonight. Io was coming off the rope. She caught her ass in the air with the pump kick. I thought she was going down. Yeah, he finally came up, and I think his first match is going to be with Ray Phoenix. I think they announced that tonight, so it's going to be next Friday. They're going to have the MFTs fighting the what you call these people, the Wyatt Six. Bo Dallas say, "Yo, I'm gonna show you we the ones." I'm like, I said, "Damn, he just rubbed his brother's names in their face." I was just laughing. Oh, yeah, yeah. When she pumped, yo, I swear she caught that. She caught that good. You know, this is why I tell a lot of people to watch NXT, because you have to see who's getting ready to come up, right? And when you see like the way they making her look right now, it has to something has to give, right? Something has to give sooner or later. She's gonna have to be fighting for one of these belts. Not the belt with Jade. It's evident they trying to allow Jade, excuse me, to keep this belt, and she's fighting the good people. She's supposed to be a heel now, right? So they're not gonna give Lash that shot, right? But sooner or later, Lash is gonna have to make a name for herself. Maybe she'll get her first chance at the tag team championship after Raw on Monday. But I just think that she did a hell of it. I know she looks a whole lot. The way she came in was the way Jade was supposed to come in. Yeah, it would have, but it would have been harder for you because that's like y'all the same height. But she has that athletic background, so she could have got off. But you ain't EO. You know what I mean? So the way oh, you meant would have. But the way she took that pump kick, boy, whew, it was scary. It was something scary. I tell you that much. But you know, like I said, the fact that they're doing it. Ooh, he broke his ankle. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm watching college football, and the quarterback was scrambling, and that man hit him right on the ankle. That ooh. Hopefully, well, I know he's not okay because he's squirming as it is. I don't think it was a fumble, but anyway, y'all. My apologies. My apologies. Um, yeah. So they got they doing something. I, I don't know. It was just awkward the way that Drew went on and carried it on. Like for the first 2 hours, from like 8 to 10, I was like, "Yo, this might be something special," right? Because we saw a trick, we saw the video over. We see Jordan Grace, sizing people up with her little self, but she sizing people up. She sized Jade up. She sized Chelsea Green up. She's sizing these people up. But but once they got to that, I just don't like the match that they're gonna have next week. I just thought if they're gonna have another 3 hours, they should have had a 60-minute match so they could beat the hell out of each other for 60 minutes and end that the way it is. You think so? Because I don't see how. Uh, I don't unless unless Lash becomes like the baby face, because the Jade, I don't know, she just start cussing like a mother, like, now I'm the bitch, I'm the bitch, I'm the bitch. So she just I don't think that'll be yet. Like I said, me personally, I don't see well, Charlotte and them ain't next on the list, right? For the belt. So I can see Charlotte getting that shot first. Well, they said I did see that Bianca may not be at the Rumble for the females, so they may be having a alternate situation go on. But until then, but like I said, Michin got hurt in the last match, which was crazy because I seen they were trying to say Michin. They said Michin bit Jay's booty as she pinned her at the end of that match. That's why she was. I think that's why she was out because they seen that look crazy looking stuff, and I think she got a little time out on TV for that. To be honest with you, excuse me, but at the end of the day, Jade ain't got nobody to fight right now. So, we're gonna see what's happening. They gonna have to put somebody up there. Maybe it's too quick for Jordan Grace to just come there and get a title belt, a title shot. So anything's possible, but I don't just see it that way. Uh, as we know, Netflix is on Monday. Uh, they got all the belts on the line. You got Punk fighting Breaker. You got Maxine Dupree fighting. What is this girl's name? Steph's wife, Becky Lynch. They got a couple matches already established. Jade ain't no hell. She just a bitch. She's in between. It ain't gonna be no time. So yeah, but like I said, yeah, I agree with that. I just think they pushing it. That's what I'm saying. That's like if you really look at who she fought B Fab, she fought Me Chin. She went after Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's supposed to be a heel, but even Chelsea Green, they start to like her. She's like on a Dom situation. He's supposed to be a heel, but they like him. I tell you what, the fans at these live events, they is really dictating a lot of stuff, right? Because Dom's supposed to be a heel, but they cheering for him. Chelsea Green is supposed to be a heel, but they cheering for her. So it's hard. It's not to be. It's hard to. We know what the role is because we've been watching it for a while, but we know the fans is really trying to like, yo, we want that person to win. We want him to win. We want That's like with John Cena. It was hard to make him a heel because they was so in between. Like, yo, we cheering for him, but at the end of the day, uh, we ain't like him because what he the way he beat Cody. But they was still cheering for him and things like that. So it's a lot. What is the next pay per view for the WWE's Royal Rumble? The end of the month. What is this? The 30th? I want to say the 30th. No, I want to say the 30th or the 31st. 4, 11, 18. Something like that. The 31st. Something like that. That's the one, the Royal Rumble. But then sooner or later, we gotta see who's gonna do what. Cause now we know we seen people fight for a championship on the Royal Rumble and then go into the match and go into the Royal Rumble match. After that, I think Brock did that before. I'm not really sure. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if Breaker go ahead and gets another match shot at the title, don't get it, and then goes down and like participates in the Rumble. I don't. I would not be shocked about that. Um, so it's like I said, these next few weeks is going to be interesting, especially on Raw Monday because they're celebrating their 1 year anniversary. So they may push that to 3 hours too. But SmackDown tonight, it started off well, but that lad, they might as well just let Carmelo would finish the night off because that was more exciting than the ambulance match. And I ain't even, you know I get it. I know people. I rock with Mello. I think he should have won a long time ago. If that's the case, they might well put the eight team tag, the 8 girl tag thing as the final match. That's how bad that match was. In my opinion, like it just drags and like, oh my god, we just gonna keep looking at this, keep looking at this. They're gonna keep trying to. He gonna fireball him. He gonna fire. Like we can't. That's not it. But it was, it was. I guess it was just to see if people will manage the 3 hours. But the first couple, like I said, the first 2 hours were good. You know what I mean? Like I said, we got to see Sammy, we got to see Randy, we got to see some older people that's been there for a while. We got to see the newer guys that's been around. So you can't really now. It makes the 3 hour show more plausible because you should have more matches. You should have about 6 matches in 3 hours because you're not just going to keep talking all night. And if they just showing commercials for an hour, that sucks too. So you might have to do some quick matches and things like that. Like I said, Jay was supposed to fight tonight. If anybody, she didn't fight because the girl was in. Michin is supposed to be injured. So you know it was supposed to be more matches than that, but they didn't. It didn't happen. So it's interesting to see how they're going to move forward with that. With the 3 hour episode of SmackDown. Maybe that was just this week. Maybe they cut it down. Maybe they want to see the numbers and then they'll decide. I don't know, but it was definitely kind of different. Um, yeah. So like I said, SmackDown was okay for me. It was all right. I don't have no like. I mean, I got the complaint of the last match, but uh, it's just different when you see it when you so used to 2 hours and then they flip it to 3 hours. Like they had to add matches, but the matches didn't even go. So it's always a difference of a situation when you add new people, add try to keep a match going, but they couldn't keep the Jade match going, so it's like different. So it's just it's a lot going on with that. But you know like I'm looking forward to Monday. Like I said, will Punk be able to retain his title? Will Maxine be able to retain hers? So like I said, there's just so many things that's going on with this Raw coming up. Will we see an appearance by Seth Rollins? It's like I said, there's so many different things gonna happen. Rhea and Io win the tag team championship? It's like I said, they're gonna probably add some more matches to the thing. I don't know if the Usos gonna be fighting. They just got the belts, so they may be up there fighting on the 1 year anniversary. Uh, it's just like I said, we got to stay tuned, and plus we got to see if there's some new people. It might be some new women coming up there from NXT. If I'm not mistaken, Javon Evans should be. They may make it official. Javon Evans is a part of Raw, and he'll probably have a match. Uh, so you just gotta stay tuned and see about how that's gonna go. Now we know going into going in. Let me just give y'all some NBA scores while I'm sitting here, rambling on. Uh, so let's just get these Friday night NBA scores out the way. We're gonna start in Indiana where the Spurs visit the Pacers. The Spurs get the victory 123 to 113. Uh, I think the Spurs are now, what are they, like 27-8 or 9? The Pacers go to 6-29. In Washington, the Wizards defeat the Nets 119 to 99. I still don't know why they don't give Brooklyn their record, but The Wizard with the win go to 9-24. In the Garden, the Knickerbockers hosted the Hawks. The Hawks get the victory 111-99. Atlanta goes to 17-19. The Knicks go to 23-11. In Cleveland, the Cavs 113. The Nuggets 108. The Nuggets has been hit with injuries. We know that Nikola Jokic is out for at least a month with his hyperextended knee situation. But with the win, the Cavs go to 20-16. The Nuggets go to 23-11 with that loss. In Milwaukee, the Bucks host the Charlotte Hornets. The Bucks get away with a 122-121 victory. The Bucks go to 15-20. The Hawks drop to 11-23. In New Orleans, the Trailblazers visit the Pelicans. The Trailblazers get the victory 122-109. With that victory, the Trailblazers are 15-20. The Pelicans are 8-28. In a game that's actually still going right now, the Lakers are up 72-69 against the Grizzlies at Crypto with 7:56 in the third. I don't know how they did this, and I should have read from the other side there. In Chicago, the Bulls 121, the Magic 114. The Bulls go to 17-17. The Magic drop to 19-16. In Phoenix, the Suns 129, the Kings 102. The Suns with the win goes to 19-14. The Kings drop to 8-26. And in the other live game in the fourth quarter, the OKC Thunder 106, the Golden State Warriors 71 with about 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That is your scores in the NBA tonight. With the exception of those two games, it just changed 106-73, under 9 minutes to go. Going to switch it to the NFL as we are coming down to the last week of the season. We know that there will be games up for grabs, and we'll start at Saturday afternoon as the Carolina Panthers head to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks. This is a winner take all. The winner gets the NFC South. The loser gets to go home. Here's the deal though. The Tampa Bay Bucks if they win, then I'll take that back because even if Tampa Bay wins, they have to hope that the Falcons lose to the Saints in order for them to win, right? Because if the Falcon wins and the Panthers lose, Carolina makes the playoffs, right? Because all three of them would be 7-9, and the Panthers have the tiebreaker against both the Bucks and the Falcons this year. So that game is of importance, especially if the Panthers win, you don't got to worry about it. We don't have to worry about the Falcon game. But if they lose, that game is going to be of importance tomorrow on Sunday. Excuse me. And the other game that's on Saturday night is for the number one seed, which will be the Seattle Seahawks heading to San Francisco to play the 49ers. The 49ers win, they get the one seed. If the Seahawks win, they get the one seed. So that's why those games is going to be on Saturday because the divisional championship is on the line for those two games. Then, for the rest of Sunday, we got Packers at the Vikings, Titans at the Jaguars, Colts versus the Texans. I think the Jaguars got to win to keep their playoff to win the division. If not, if the Texans win, I think the Texans gain the division. The Cowboys going to New York to play the Giants or the MetLife. Like I said, the Saints and Falcons, that may be a game of importance. Only if the Bucks win the game. Cleveland versus the Bengals. Only importance in this is will Myles Garrett break the sack record in this game. That's what you got to look for in that game. going on. The rest of it will be at 4:25. The Lions versus the Bears. The Chiefs at the Raiders. Will the Raiders keep the number one spot? We'll see. The Chargers at the Broncos. There's no game. There's nothing of importance there. The Broncos sealed up the division. Now, if the Broncos lose and the Patriots win, they get the division. They get the number one spot. Dolphins at Patriots. That's the other game you have to worry about for the AFC number one seed. Uh, the Cardinals will be playing the Rams. The Rams already clinched the playoffs. The Eagles are hosting the Commanders. Uh, they placed this. They may play everybody. They may not. The Jets going to Buffalo to play the Bills. And the 8:20 game, the final game of the season, the regular season, is going to be the Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The winners is in. The winner goes to the playoffs. The loser watches the playoff like we are going to watch the playoffs. So those are the games that are at hand. There will be no Monday night game. Sunday night, that game is the last game of the season. That's the game of importance. So, you know, we going back into a thing. That's the way it's going to be. Uh, like I said, Sunday night is just it. Uh, so those are the scores of the NBA, and that's the schedule for the NFL. Uh, like I said, all of that is being brought to you by the 9%. We're a better user, better us. Um, it's not really it's really a quiet day in the world of sports because everybody's getting themselves focused to getting focused for the NFL last week, and they're also into this college football situation. They're down to their final four. Uh, so it's like I said, there's a lot going on. You know what I mean? We saw how the number one seed in the Indiana Hoosiers, they beat the Crimson Tide to get to the Final Four. The Ducks defeated the Red Raiders to get to the Final Four, and the Bulldogs lost to the Ole Miss Rebels. In that game, this young kid, I don't know who this kid. Listen, man, I'm gonna look at this just to see this kid's the quarterback stats because this young man was cooking. I didn't even know who he was. His name is Trinidad Chambliss. He looked like a faster Mahomes, just running around throwing. He running 20 yards back to get the ball down the field and juke to defend the defensive line. He was 30 for 46 for 362 yards. If he does that again, and if the Rebels win, that it's already bad because the Rebels coach was Lane Kiffin. He left them to go to LSU. And I know he's kicking himself because I don't think he gave up on his team like this team couldn't win. I think they're trying to show that they can win regardless, with or without him. And this young man, Trinidad Chambliss, like I said, if he has another game like that, I think he's going to be. I don't know what if he's a junior, senior, whatever. He gonna get up out of there. He gonna leave Ole Miss. If he going to the league, I don't know. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's a senior or junior. I don't know. We know in the NFL they try to make you wait 3 years to do what you got to do to get in the draft. So but the way he was moving and shaking in that game, I'm telling y'all, I'm looking it up as I speak, right? But oh, he's a senior, so he's coming out regardless. They will be talking about y'all will hear some more of that name Trinidad Chambliss before April. I believe April's the draft. Y'all will hear that name again. Y'all will hear that when they start speaking about the draft, they're gonna say, "Well, this kid Trinidad Chambliss, he showed up in the college football playoffs, and they made you may hear him being one of the top five quarterbacks to come out. That's how impressive he was against Georgia. He made Georgia look slow and out of position. That's what he did. So that's a name I'm telling y'all to look out for. We know that the Heisman Trophy winner Mendoza is going to be one of the top quarterbacks as well. But because Trinidad Chambliss was somebody, it wasn't high. He wasn't highly spoken of, but because he putting on this show in the College Bowl playoffs, y'all may hear about him earlier than a lot of people expected. I'm not saying he's gonna be a lottery pick, but I'm saying he might be one of those guys that elevates himself to be one of the top five quarterbacks picked in the draft. Meaning he might get picked in the second round or the third round, but he maybe. I'm not the draft guru guys, but what I seen, I will not be surprised if they say, you know what, he's the third quarterback picked in the whole entire draft, whatever round it is. I don't think he's going to be high first or anything. I'm not saying he's going to be high first or anything like that because this draft with the quarterbacks is not really of high expectation. So he may jump up to be like maybe the third or fourth quarterback pick, maybe the third round, maybe the fourth round. Who knows? They trying to get these quarterbacks for cheap now. Uh, so just be on the lookout for that name, Trinidad Chambliss, and we'll see what happens. Uh, so are you going live tonight? I don't even know if you're going live tonight, but but this is a serious weekend as far as, like I said, sports in general, right? I think the next playoffs are one of the next playoffs for this game for these guys. I'm looking it up as we speak. Oh yeah, Miami got a win over who did they beat? I forgot who they beat. But that's the fourth team. So you got those two, January 8th, the Dolphins, the Miami Hurricanes versus Ole Miss, and the Oregon Ducks will be playing the Indiana Hoosiers. The Indiana Hoosiers. Damn, I can't even talk. So those will be those are the final four games. I guess next week, the 16th or whatever, or the 13th, is going to be the championship between those four teams to determine the national football champions. So, like I said, they rocking. Now the wife said, "No, I need the rest." Translation. Okay, yeah. Salute to that, though. So it like I don't know, man. Exciting weekend nonetheless in the world of sports. We'll be back Monday to had a conversation about who goes where. Or Sunday, I'm lying. I'll be on Sunday night. I said Monday. I just skipped the whole day. I'll be back Sunday to give you all of the official seedings, who's first, who's last, who got in, who got out, all of those type of scenarios. Uh, Probably do some stats about the offensive stats for the quarterback with the most yards, the quarterback with the best touchdowns, and all of that other stuff. We'll do that Sunday night because, like I said, there's only going to be a couple of games of importance to really talk about, and two of them is Saturday. So you know what I mean. So, but there will be, we have to talk about who wins the one seed. So we'll probably talk about Denver, or we'll talk about the Patriots. We could definitely going to talk about the night game, the Steelers and the Ravens. We may have to talk. Well, we're going to have to talk about the Jags because if they win or lose, they're clinching. Somebody has to clinch that division as well. That division technically is not clinched, so It's either them or the Texans. Uh, excuse me, and that's about it. We know the NFC North is clinched. We know the AFC East is clinched. The West is clinched. Uh, and yeah, I said the North, the East, the NFC North, the NFC East is clinched. The AFC South and the AFC West ain't clinched. The NFC South and the NFC West is not clinched. So those are the games that we'll be focusing on Sunday. Like I said, it won't be that much to talk about. So we'll probably go into stats and as far as like I said, quarterbacks, the best running back of the year, their stats, the receiver with the well, McBride just set a record on the Arizona Cardinals for catching the most passes as a tight end. So congratulations to him. He did that last week. So we're gonna go through all of those stats on Sunday. With that being said, uh, you know, I'm running out of words. So from the Channel 9 studios, like I said earlier, the scores, the scores and the schedule was brought to you guys by the 9%. So with that being said, from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. I'll see you guys Sunday.